I have a dream, a simple line, but one that has echoed across generations because dreaming is something we all do. But what happens after the dream? That's where the story really begins. It's about timing, it's about risk that most people never tap into. Welcome to the EMBC Network, where ideas evolve into conversations that matter. I'm Hurricane H, and today we're exploring what it really means to chase something you can't see yet, but somehow believe in. Joining me today is an entrepreneur influencer, Gary Galab. Welcome, Gary, to the show.
It's a pleasure, my friend. I'm happy to be here with you.
Well, listen, you and I, we've kind of had quite a few discussions. I know you have this thing, especially in Dubai. Dubai scene knows you now. You ask questions, you ask people questions that are intriguing. And today we're going to have that intriguing discussion about the world of dreams. So I know you're going to ask me the question. So let's go for it, Bobby. Let's make it happen.
Well, let me tell you, H.E., this had a quote sitting next to my bedside most of my adult years. And the quote was, well, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put the quote to you. Some people dream of success while others wake up and work hard at it. Now, have you got a dream?
Oof. Yeah. That's uh, dude, we could talk about this for hours, dude. It's not even first of all, I love that particular quote myself, and funny that I've had a discussion. Well, one of my first shows was about that, and it is something I've grown up with in terms of concept. And ask the question: do I have a dream? Have I had dreams about success in life, about life, and all this stuff? Of course, everybody dreams. So here's the story. I'm leaving the dream. My dream is really entrenched in the idea of building something of a legacy. And I have a few years ago started my company. What are we doing right now? Talk show, media. And the dream is that to create this platform that is a resourceful, informative place where people can gather and get information from experts and really evolve in terms of their intellect, if you want to call it that way. No stuff. Um, bringing value to people, something what they can use in their life day to day, not fluff, but something that is solid, heavy, core, deep, that's got a real meaning to pursue life in general. So that's kind of like the big picture of my dream. Basically, enrich your mind and soar beyond limits is our tagline, which is based exactly on that kind of idea of dream. Have I dreamt before? This is not my first dream in life as a person to succeed. And one of them was the American dream, long time ago when I was a kid. I saw a sign that said, would you like to work in Epcot Center in Florida, USA? This was when I was in high school as a young kid in Morocco. And I looked at it as like, that's it. That's the dream. I want to meet that. I want to do that. I want to make sure this is the American dream. You've seen movies, White House, whatever, picket fences, all that good stuff, and it was really a dream. That's all it was. But here's the kick. Did I just dream? And said, okay, cool. I mean, there's a lot of people that dream, and that's the whole thing. Today's discussion, we're going to go deep into it, and we're going to dive into the details with you, Gary. But so my story, as I said, my dream today, I have a dream, and my dream is to build a legacy somewhere where people can get information, get real resources when they have access to resources. Now, I mean resources, you, a doctor, someone who has something to bring in to them where they can actually apply in real life and eventually succeed. Now, by the way, that could be anything. So we're going to go into more of this in a second. So did I answer your question, by the way?
Well, I mean, you did in a way where um, that obviously you got the American dream. Did you actually really achieve your dream,
Oh,
or
yeah.
is it in the making?
No, no, no. That's been long gone. That was achieved in the first couple of years. So the story behind it is I saw that and I looked at it and like, okay, this is something I wanted. Now, Mind you, I grew up in a French environment, so really, English was not even my thing. And so I went, I learned English as a second language. I got a proficiency into it. I went to university. I learned hospitality, sales, marketing, and all that. Got my degree, and I got hired actually to work at Epcot Disney as a tour guide within the Morocco, and also as a collaboration between Disney World and the Moroccan government for the national office, tourism office. And of course, in Disney, they had Epcot Center, which actually I think it's the acronym that stands for, I think, Experimental Community Prototype of Tomorrow. Oh, Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow, Epcot. And they had pavilions. One of them was actually the Moroccan pavilion. So I had the privilege and the honor to serve in a way as a ambassador of culture. And so I was actually a guide that explained, the culture and so on and so forth about the country. So it was a kind of very cool job that I had. It's funny because I looked like Aladdin because we in Disney you have to actually dress up, and so you have a costume. And the dress code was literally like the Aladdin code. So people came and we took pictures. It was fun stuff, and but so that was just the start. So yes, did I achieve my dream? Way beyond that. The dream was just to cross over, right, to go to the U.S. and work in Disney, but it was beyond that. It's to succeed in my career path and so on. So what I did in a couple of years, I was able to get into the corporate space, rise up in the ranking, hierarchies, and make it to C-suite level, build a nice little momentum for myself, a good reputation in the industry. Of course, I moved out of the hospitality. I went to the insurance and healthcare, and that's where I built most of my 30 plus years of expertise. In between, I've had also another side career of real estate. I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket, so I always do a lot of things. And yeah, so that was then. And then, of course,
Did
you
you
get to
end
a
up
certain
with your
point.
white picket fence?
Oh, I had quite a few of those. Not only the one I lived in, but a few other that were investments. So I did live the dream, as you say. I had the right cars, I had the right life, I had the right trips, I had the right everything that someone can dream of, at least from my background. Where I was and how I saw it. Um, you know, it's amazing that anything can be achieved in life. If you want it so bad, you work at it, and that's where that quote that you just started with the show happens to be. A lot of people make that mistake, like, oh, I'm dreaming to have, I don't know, a fantasy car, whatever. And what are you doing about it? I mean, are you just looking at
Correct.
pictures? So that's really the
Correct.
stuff.
What are you
So
doing
so so
about it?
my steps were literally study, get prepared. That's the other thing. It's not just, okay, I want this. Well, what are you going to do about it? You got to take the steps, the necessary pieces, and you have to have the patience, the resilience, the discipline, because all that stuff has to add up. It's not something that you can do overnight. There's no such thing as, I would say, overnight success unless you win a lottery, which it is a lottery, so it's a gamble. You never know. But the real work is you have to get up every day. You have the eyes on the prize. You got to focus, and you keep going at it. And yes, you go left, you go right, you go up, you go down. There's some failures in the process that teach you different things. They're not really bad things. They're actually lessons learned to maneuver things around in life. Life is not peachy, not easy. You got to do a lot of things. And a lot of people think now, especially I think today, we have the social media. My days were before social media, which means you didn't have the interaction. What you saw is if you drove by a nice little house and you're like, wow, I want this. That's all there is. Now we're bombarded with information about mansions, supercars, and jets, and this and that, the other, whatever, private, everything. So it kind of drives you like, I want more of this, but how easy is it to get there? And I think that's really the discussion we can hop on, you and I today deeper because you are an entrepreneur, you're a successful person. We both just moved into Dubai, and hopefully we'll make the fabric of this beautiful city. And by the way, I know you had another question. I'm just going to answer that. You've been going around asking, is it soulless?
Well, when I first arrived in this city, I could tell you I jumped onto social media just to get a view of people's comments in regarding Dubai, and the first thing that popped up was it came actually from a person from UK that I don't know his background, what situation he was in, and he was talking about Dubai being a soulless city. Now that really hit me thinking, I've just brought my family here. We've just sold up everything back in Sydney, Australia, to come to a solar city. I didn't want that to sink in. I wanted to go out and hear it from myself, from other people. So I could tell you, I bought myself a scooter. You've seen my scooter. And it's easy to travel around through town. And obviously I bought a mic and used my phone camera to initiate some engagement with the community, because I'm a social person. I like to get out there and interact and talk to people. And I was accepted in regards to asking a question and them being on camera. And my question was, in their opinion, that is, do they feel that Dubai is a solar city? And I did get a couple of sort of negative, but I put it down to them not living the Dubai life to understand that Dubai is full of soul. With me, in my opinion, like, I found that Dubai is full of soul, only because that I'm a social person. I get myself out there and talk and interact. You know, I mean, for people that are introverts and just stay at home or go to these clubs, drinking and Friday, Saturday nights, that to me is not soulful. To me, is the interaction with people and having mindful conversations and interactions. My bit of my background, I'm not going to get into my younger years. That's another topic, maybe for another interview. But in 2014, it was when I was doing and started my landscaping business. I started doing a lot of work for people, like mowing lawns and taking care of their gardens and painting homes, like houses, bedrooms, and so on. And most of my work I ended up doing was for single parents, single moms with young kids. And over the years, these kids are growing up, and I'm saying, and they're capable of doing what I'm doing for them. But these young youths never had the experience from anyone in their life to even pick up a hammer or, put a nail on the wall to hang up a picture or something like that, let alone to start a lawnmower, which some of them did have lawnmowers in their tool sheds, which haven't been used because obviously the father figure is not around. And even if the father figure was around, Hurricane, they haven't got time for their children these days. Parents are not even making time for their children. So I came up with an idea to start a workshop to be able to, especially using the tools that I had, to be able to teach these young people how to use tools, how to put a drill bit in a drill so they can drill a hole in the wall to put a screw in to hang up a picture. And this was just before COVID, actually. And to give the experience to some of these young people, with that in mind, it all comes down to mindset. I mean, to have a dream, you've got to have a mindset that, a positive mindset that anything can happen if you want it to happen. Anyone can just dream of being successful, but you've got to obviously take action. Now, I've thought about this really hard, and I can tell you, Hurricane, I did register the organisation as a not-for-profit organisation. It was called Silly Idea, spelled SYLYIDEA, Silly Idea.
Right.
So, I mean, it might have sounded somewhat of a silly idea to get it started, but there's an acronym there to that name, silly, support your local youth. And the idea is to initiate dreams and engage action. So this is what these youths. Yeah, go on. Did you have someone wanted to say something there?
I just no, I just said, wow, it's powerful, man.
Yeah. Well,
That's
look.
pretty
Yeah.
deep stuff.
To me, it was powerful. I say was because it's past tense now because COVID really ruined that for us. I had a few young youths that uh, I took under my wing to start training them, and obviously COVID hurt a lot of people in a lot of ways. And the process of that stayed in house, so I had to end up just more really just concentrating in home first on myself and my family and my children for us to move forward in life and be able to gain the experiences ourselves for us to be able to help others in the future. Now, I couldn't even think about wanting to help anyone in that time because it was so surreal that a look, COVID really hit everyone really hard. I mean, fear plays a big part in life as well, right? I wasn't fearful for myself. I knew that I didn't like what was happening. And there was fear mongering. I knew there was agendas behind it, but I knew that I need to back my kids and help them progress in life and become more um, self-secure and self um, like
Isn't
mandatory money wise. You know what I mean? To try and make it because
correct.
without without that money behind you, you can't do really nothing in life. So I've helped them, educated them in what I know of what's happening around the world, and I'm not going to feed my children any rubbish uh, news. What I feed them is what I know and what I've learned. If I hear otherwise, if I'm wrong, I will admit that I'm wrong. But I give them the information that I know from the books that I've read and the information that I hear to help them succeed in life and get there so they can help others in the future.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, I'm listening to you. It's great work, and it's a great message actually for people that are watching and listening right now. And this show goes all over the world, and um, there are people all around the world. I mean, there are things happening in the world all the time. You mentioned COVID; that was a big hit in the world. I mean, it was just a time of uncertainty, time of fear, as you said. A lot of people kind of did not know what to do, but many prevailed after COVID to the same end that you just mentioned, whereby you you build something that is for long term, and you basically gave that gift to your kids and family to maintain and continue. Which, by the way, I had the pleasure of meeting your family, so I know that they're doing that. So they follow in the footsteps of whatever you built for them there, and that's a beautiful thing. And again, for those people who are watching and listening right now, this is a powerful message. If you're a parent, you know, you build for yourself, that's great. But of course, if you have your kids, your family, they're the next generation. That's again, I mentioned a little bit of a legacy. Your kids are part of that legacy. And what they do is part of that legacy. The more we help them get the right stuff, the right information, that goes along with the mission, for example, for my dream, which is building a new type of media company that is already making a difference because we have literally thousands and thousands of downloads, and we believe that one person that takes one good information, that they can apply in life. I mean, even this show, right? I mean, we are putting a lot of good nuggets here. If someone takes a couple of things from what you and I just said, or you right now just put this whole thing about the silly idea concept to, put in things for your kids to build to the future, not getting negative information, which there's a lot of it out there, and really get into real stuff. Not, it's like the juice, the essence of information, something where people can use their mind and apply correctly, not just get, because we're talking about social media earlier. I mentioned that we're just getting all kind of stuff in here, and your mind is just like, information, but is it all good for you? No. Sadly, that's the truth. And so it's a powerful tool for you guys watching and listening is to we're talking about dreaming, success, but along those lines, to get from the dream to success, there is building, which Gary just mentioned, building a foundation, building ideology that makes a difference. What I mentioned is building something that can benefit generations to come. This is not just about me. Actually, I don't even, care about me personally in this media company. Literally, even when I do stuff, I don't talk about me. I don't do stuff. It's more about my guests, my the messages, the podcasters, for example, that are on the network. It's their work. It's delivering something that can change. It's really for the mind, the body, and the spirit. And if it's good for you, we have it. We don't do entertainment. We don't do news, for example, in my work here. What we do is information, health, wellness, fitness, mental health, business, acumen, motivation, inspiration, stuff like this. That's what we want. We want people to get there. What you're building there, what you've done is the same thing. It's the same along lines. We might have different paths, different, and by the way, using social media to your point, and when I asked you the question, you asked the people in the street about, Dubai Solis, that's part of like you're trying to establish, a parameter, something that shows that the negative stuff can be, it's negative and it shouldn't be, and you try to make it a positive. You try to get the feed to the world that, hey, this is not the right information. People are just saying stuff that is
Well,
wrong.
when I first heard that, mind you, we packed up and sold up, and we moved here for a change of life, right? Because I know by being back in Australia, I know I wasn't going to progress because the mentality of a lot of people there is unlike the mentality of that I found of the people here, right? Now, I was born in Lebanon. My background's Lebanese, right? 1967, I was born. 1967, I was shipped out to Australia with my family, of course. Now, growing up there, the mentality is different. My kids grew up, like I could tell you, they grew up with the Australian mentality, but with the parents behind them and the background of our uh, ethnicity kept them in line, right? I wasn't fortunate enough growing up myself in the early days, but like I said, that's a topic for another discussion. And I took my kids on a European holiday a couple of years ago, and Dubai was the first stop, right? So there was only, I think, 3 or 4, maybe 5 days we spent here, and then we done Europe because I wanted to give them the opportunity as a family to go out and see the world and experience it first. I wanted to go out with them, so because you hear a lot when you go to like on TV that how frightening some countries might be. So we've done it as a family, and we enjoyed it. So when we got back to Australia, because in the back of their mind they enjoyed their time that they had here in Dubai, they ended up convincing me. I say con me, but convince. It's the same thing, right? So
All right, all right.
they ended up convincing me to make the move, right? So as a parent, we're here for the children. We're here for our kids. Our life is about our kids. And another thing I want to tell you, HG, I, unlike other parents, where when they pass away, there's an inheritance there, right? Now, I gave my inheritance to my family right here, right now, to see my inheritance being worked in a positive way, not when I die, they're going to fight over whatever it is. Because, I mean, obviously, with past histories and stories that we hear that the children fight over inheritance. Now, I made a decision, a conscious decision, me and my wife, to put our money in their capable hands because we know what we've raised, right? For them to be able to make this move, obviously I didn't want to deny them the move here because I'm not going to be selfish and stay in Australia for my, selfishness and ego. I can't move and I'm happy here and whatever. But I made the move for my children. Now, whatever happens here, hopefully with the grace of God, they'll all be successful in their own right. Obviously, they need to help themselves and make things happen, because without making things happen, you're not going to get anywhere. So this is what my position is, and I want my kids to be in a safe haven, because I know, like you hear, like look in the UK, London, a lot of knife crimes. We know in Australia there's a lot of home invasions, a lot of knife crimes, especially up north in Queensland. All these young youths, they're just running amok with home invasions, going in at night, people are asleep, and taking their keys and stealing their possessions, taking their cars. Here, I feel very safe that I brought my family to Dubai to experience a new lifestyle and a change in our life. A big change, and it has been a big change. I mean, with me going out doing interviews and interviewing people, I'm enjoying it. And the reason why I started that, because the first, I can tell you, I'll be serious. The first month or two, I didn't settle in straight away. Like my children, for young adults that like to travel and get themselves out there, it's unlike the. Well, I've changed my mental attitude at the moment. I want to get out there and go travel as well now, because my kids have given me that excitement to do that. But when I first came here, it took me about 2 months to really sink in that I might not be going back to Australia anymore, which is the country that I grew up in. 58 years, 59 years in Australia, and it wasn't easy to move. So now that I've settled in here and I've used social media to help me relax and be able to be happy in Dubai. And a lot of people have given me a lot of encouragement as well along the way with the interviews that I've done, and put the comments that I've been getting back and encouraging me to, keep on doing what I'm doing. And obviously, I'm going to not stick to the same subject as Dubai soulless, because I've already confirmed that from everyone. Dubai is not soulless. It's just the people that probably have come here and not made it. Right? They want to trash Dubai. Maybe they came in with a mindset of get rich quick and so on. I mean, you can't have that mindset. You've got to come in with a nice, clear mindset, and especially the intent behind the hurricane. If your intent is pure, to understand what you can do and manifest in a country like Dubai, mate, you can move, you can go forward. I've met a lot of people. I mean, you meet one person, and then it's just like it's a domino effect. From one, you meet others, and so on. And everyone that I've met here have invited me into this country and given me comfort to be able to think about, when I even leave this life, I know my kids are going to be safe and happy and content in this country than in a Western country, because the morals and ethics in the Western countries is unlike the morals and ethics and the love that's shown here in Dubai.
Well, so you know what? I'm just gonna highlight a few things that you've covered here, because there's a lot. And by the way, it is all connected to the idea of the dream, because this is another segment. This is dreaming, just a different type of dream. It is still a dream of success. I mean, making a move is a dream. Again, even for me, when I mentioned that I'm living the dream, I'm living a dream in terms of my legacy, yes. But I'm also living a new dream. Like I had the American dream, and you can say now I'm have the Dubai dream or the UAE dream, because that's one of the reasons I'm here. I mean, obviously, we still have a life in the US, and we're the idea is to be here, and live and thrive, but also still be connected to the US. I mean, but yeah, to your point, there's quite a bit of differences in a lot of things. One being, I can say even the economies have shifted around the world, and the U.S. is there's some struggle there, in terms of how things are going, financially, if you want to call it that way. It's not the same as, for example, in the 90s or 2000 year. It's just not the same. And by the way, it's pretty much all over the world, especially after COVID, things have changed a lot. That's one. Two, safety. I mean, we have mass shootings, we have a lot of stuff, and yeah, it sounds very negative. Frankly, when you have kids, you do want to think about safety. And one of the things that we fell in love ourselves here as a family before we even decided to move and extend our business here was the safety part, because we came here a few years back for business, and my wife had her cosmetic company, and we were at a beauty expo, and we sold it's cool. We met some good people, and Chef Zainab is one of them, and what's his name, Ibrahim, was another one that we met the first time. Then we came
Yeah.
back and came back and came back, and we loved it and loved it. And we said, you know what, we should. This is a good place to live and to have a good environment. You don't have to worry about safety. There's and definitely for we can talk about business. I mean, we're business people. Yes, there is opportunity to make money here. I mean, and I'm not talking about just real estate. There's all kind of stuff. It's a country that supports ideology. I mean, not ideology, ideas, innovation. It's a country that's given a lot of support to entrepreneurs and things like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I just registered my company in Media City, right? So that's in Sharjah, like it's Shams. So that's something. So it'll be an extension to the network from the U.S. My wife is in the fitness world, in the influence world, and she's thriving there as well, slowly but surely building, her momentum. Same thing as you. So there is a dream. This is the other part of the dream that we live in.
Well, I've yet to meet someone that is not working here. Like, if I was back home in Australia and just asked a random person in the street, what kind of work do you do? He'll tell me nothing. He's not working, no job. You see, here I found that everyone comes here for a purpose, and for either a job or a business. That everyone's active, everyone's doing something. This is what I'm saying. So there's no negativity as if like there's no work here. Everyone's working, everyone's
Well,
occupying
this
themselves, everyone's moving.
well, the system is designed to. You're not here. You cannot be on welfare here. It's either you're working, you're a business person, or you're with a company that's actually brought you here to operate and stuff, and to thrive. And can you thrive? Yes. Can you scale up and rank up the same way when I was a kid and then I moved quickly up the ranks, in the U.S. It can be done here to anyone. I've seen a lot of actually I've met a lot of successful people in already in the last couple months that we've been here. And to be honest with you, I can even gauge it, like the frequency and the how quickly can you meet more people that are at a high level of success is pretty fast. I mean, compared to, I would say, in a larger country in like in the U.S. I mean, you meet a lot of people, but as you pointed out, it's not as easy as you think. I mean, it's you got to be in the right circles, right? Here, you pretty much like you're working with people all the time, and you're meeting people that are pretty much making a difference day in day out, and that's just a fact. Um, the concept of soulless, and I want to just touch base on that, because you and I, we made a conscious decision with our families to move here, not because it has not only a soul. I mean, I'm gonna make an impression. Have you ever watched that movie, The Frankenstein? It's alive. All right. Well, this is well, really, that's the impression that you have, and you see it. I mean, Dubai is alive everywhere on the social media, and it's not just an act, it's real. You know, listen, we are currently in this war, time frame right now, right? So there's all kind of stuff crazy, and we're still enjoying life in Dubai, and people don't even understand how that's
100%.
possible. Look, we were having a good time, and Ramadan was here. We were good. We were out there, out and about, having good time, whatever events and charity going on, and all kind of stuff's going on, you know.
It's
And
it's funny saying that, because if you've noticed the wars in the past with the Arabs, the wars that have been inflicted onto the Arabs, they've always started in the month of Ramadan, basically. In one of the
uh,
the months that they think that we're going to be struggling in. We don't struggle when God's behind you, brother. You know what I mean? Everything.
well,
Yes, go
bro, we don't even feel it. I mean, listen, people may like, Hurricane, what are you talking about? Guys, I mean, I can tell you this. We've been here, we might hear a little bit of, stuff going on, but there are people out there behind the scenes that are taking care of business. And I have to commend them from this spot of show. And I think you can echo that from, with me.
Well, look, a
Literally,
lot of
we don't
people
feel a
have
thing.
left.
Yeah.
A lot of people have, not a lot of people, but a lot of people have left. Let's not
What?
disguise it. But the majority that have stayed here, I mean, kudos to them. Obviously, they've been here for a long time, and some have even just arrived. I've interviewed people that have recently arrived, and I've asked them, "Do you feel any fear?" No, they don't. They know. They know what's happening here, and they know what's happening around the world. And I got to like give it up to the rulers of Dubai because they have really uh, kept us safe. And I know with what I see on social media and the news here, not the fake news outside, the news here in Dubai, that they're doing a really good job, my friend. I mean, nothing has happened to us. We've lived our daily life like normal. We go to the shop, we go to down to the beach, we go to the cinemas to watch a movie, we go visit other people. Like you've come to my place and have dinners. Nothing's changed for us as a society here in Dubai. We don't live in fear, but fear, like I said, plays a big part. And I don't hold it against these people that have left Dubai, for whatever reason that they did leave, but it's because of the fear that's been instilled through the media, mainstream media, and that's what they prey on onto the human being because that's part of their control.
Gary, I can say, I mean, again, you're right, and great thanks, if not thanks to all the authority, the rules, the authority, the defense folks, because I can tell you, I mean, I hear every now and then some roaring. I mean, they doing the business up there, taking care of business. I mean, the defense system is pretty accurate. They're good. We don't even, I mean, hardly you. And this is funny because people's like, but that's not what the media is talking about. You can see the news is like very like I mean, I can get you if I were in the States right now watching the news, I'll be like, oh my God, it's doomed, it's over. This place is gone. It's not. I mean, we're having a show right now. I mean, we're having a good time. You know, you're downtown, I'm, South Dubai, and it's all cool. So no problems at all, folks. And and by the way, it's not just on social media here or the news here. Actually, life is alive. I mean, the rules are hanging out. They taking they taking strolls in the streets with people. They're. I mean, everybody's coming onto unity. I mean, it's like we've becoming here more united than ever. I think. And again, we're the newbies of I was making a joke. I got my ID 2 weeks ago, last week actually after the war. So I'm like one of the last IDs printed probably. you know so and it's right, some people left and I get it, so people have decisions to make, when it comes to these things. Like even when this started, I'm like, what's our status? We're cool, this is home, we're here now. I mean, we're cool, we have nowhere to go. I mean, we can go anywhere, we can go back to the States, we can go, matter of fact, you know we can get up now and go if we want to. But why? I don't fear for my life, to be honest with you, or for our family. And someone can say like, well, you guys are crazy. Well, again, talking about success and stuff, you gotta stuff. And sometimes there's opportunities and times where you of uncertainties, because here's the thing, the way I look at it. Um, we here, some people left. There's going to be opportunities to take over things, whatever. I mean, there's all kind of stuff from business perspective. If we're thinking even like entrepreneur stuff, I'm sure there's going to be ins that may not have been available if maybe everybody was still around. I'm just throwing that in there. So for people out there, I mean, when there's something that happens, there is always a benefit somewhere, and
Obviously, yes.
you have to look at the cup always half full. All right, and that's even like normally when you have a crisis. Dude, I can tell you this. I mean, we have a storm, blizzard, coming in, you know, the shelves are empty in the States. I mean, people grab food and water and stuff like, it's there's no tomorrow.
There's no
For-
shortage here. I just went to shopping the other day.
I know.
The shelves are full,
I,
my friend.
I was literally at a supermarket yesterday. I mean, there's everything that you can imagine, no shortage whatsoever, plenty of stuff. It's that's the thing. Like, some people don't get it. So this goes back to the idea of soulless. Oh boy, that's like it's almost like a hoax conversation, because first of all, here's the other thing that people don't realize. Dubai, or UAE as we know it, has, maybe is a newer country, but always existed. It had a culture, had people. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, you can't have a country that's soulless or a place that's soulless if it has people with an ancient tradition. I mean, these people lived here for thousands of years, right? And the culture still exists, and you can experience that culture. See, people know Dubai as this new, almost westernized, city with all the hype and the glamour and the bling and all stuff. Which is, by the way, that's part of it, and actually that makes it cool. But there's another part of it. It is actually a very traditional, side of it. There's history here. There's all kind of stuff that may not be perceived as such, but it is. So it's not soulless. It's super alive. I don't care how you want to define it, and that would have been my answer to you if you had, asked me the question in the street. But really, that's one thing. And you kind of almost love it. I just enjoy it and love it. I mean, like there's this page is called Love in Dubai. I mean, you love Dubai. It's like, I listen, I'm from New York, that's kind of where I spend more of my US life. So I say I love New York, which I do because I love New York as a city and the stuff. But I just become, a little bit more acquainted with the idea of loving Dubai as well. So it's like I have a lot of places I love in the world. I mean, I have a lot of homes. If you can, I mean, I love Morocco, I love Dubai, I love New York. It's just like how it is, and so it creates that vibe for you, and also you feel that there is opportunities to grow and succeed here, and that's a valid point because this whole show is about success.
One has to make things happen to
Oh
create
yes.
to create the soul, for themselves. Like you could not you could say, I haven't even been to Vegas, and Vegas is like you could say not similar to Dubai, but it's a city that's been built in the desert as well. And I haven't been there, but I know what I've seen on TV and movies. I believe that is soulless. Vegas
I'll tell you.
itself.
Well, here's the difference.
Go for it.
Financially speaking, what we see in the movies is the casinos and the glamour and stuff. But there is a backside of, Vegas and a lot of cities, especially where there's casinos and gambling. There's also pandemic of drugs and maybe you can call them, I don't know, poverty as well, because people lose money, so there's that. So there's that. Now you can't say that here. As you said earlier, there's no such thing as someone who's not working. There's no such thing as someone who's not, it's either you're working or you're not. It's either you have a business or you're not. So if you're here, you got to hustle. I mean, that's simple and
And
out. And I
there's
think
nothing wrong with hustling, my friend.
there's nothing. I think
You
one of
gotta
the
you
I
gotta
think
you gotta be a shaker and a mover to make things happen.
well, I think the ruler said, in one of the comments, doesn't matter if you're a gazelle or a lion, you get up running. And that's a very powerful one. I mean, you get up in the morning, like we're hustling, we're making it happen. But here's the thing: you're hustling, but you're enjoying the hustle. That's a cool thing. I mean, it's like usually hustle is like, oh my God, it's another day. Here is like, oh my God, yeah, I'm gonna have another day. So it's just the vibe is different, the frequencies and energies are different, and you have that. And it's funny. I People work every day, and you go out in the streets until midnight, 1 o'clock. People are still hanging out. They go to work the next day. That's the other thing. It's like this live. I mean, the closest to it, I would say. I mean, maybe New York has a little bit of that. Maybe Miami has a little bit of that because I mean, there's a nightlife that's existing, and you can feel that vibe. And here, it's just continuous. And by the way, we are still in a time of crazy right now, if you want to call it that way, right? But yet, it's happening. So one more thing that I wanted to highlight from what you said, Gary, is inheritance that you said, right? I
Yeah.
love that because I think for people that are watching and listening, everybody thinks money is great. Money is a means, right? It's not the end of everything, right? And you're right. Sometimes you got to use it for the right reasons and use it for stuff. I love what you said. Here's my kids now are a point where they can handle themselves. Let them stuff. I want to see the world. I want to do stuff. That's a powerful message too. And it is that also a part of success. That is success. There's another level of success. I mean, success can be defined many ways, right? And I've had many shows about success with different experts, and we can literally have days and days and hours of discussions about success. We're never going to end up, in anywhere because all of the definition of success can be all possible. I mean, I'm happy. I can say that I'm successful. If I can achieve
Well,
a good
but
level of happiness.
by me doing that, it gave me another boost in life. Like I was complacent, and I was in a comfort zone back in Australia, uh, like thinking, all right, I've got my own home now. I'm going to kick back, and I don't need to work or whatever it is, because COVID really made COVID played a big part in regards to social distancing and making people unsocial. I mean, me myself, because I like interacting. I'm a social person. Even walking down the street, for example, in my back in my town, I look. I'm walking down the street, and then I look at. I come face to face with someone, and I'm noticing that he was looking at me. And I go to give a nod, but he's already looked away. Just in that second, I went to go give a nod. Like, people don't even want to say hello anymore. I'm a person that gives a nod or wants to say hello, but I've found that you don't get that anymore. So being here, when I catch eyes with someone, I give a nod, they give a nod back. You know, because if you're looking at someone, why would you want to walk? Why would you want to be walking down the street and looking at someone, and when that person looks at you, you want to look away? Why are you looking at him in the first place? At least keep that glance. Wait for something at least, because I always give a nod, but they looked away already just prior to that nod. Which
Sure, you did tell me a story about that.
it hurts. It does hurt, Hurricane. You know, it does hurt, but like I do care, but I don't. But I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to say. I just want to get a message out there to people. When you're walking down the street and you're looking at someone or you're admiring someone, doesn't matter what it is, at least if they turn around and glance at you, don't look away. Just keep that for a few more seconds and see what arises from it. I mean, some people might say, uh, like, I want to tell you a little story. Now, I don't want anyone to get offended by this. No, we don't know the people, but once we were at a coffee shop at Gloria Twins in Australia, and we were sitting down. My wife was sitting down, and my daughter was sitting down, and they were glancing across, talking about this lady's handbag, how they had the same one, how my daughter had the same handbag as this lady. And this lady noticed my daughter was looking over their way. Mind you, I could tell you, one was a Muslim lady. Clearly see she's got the hijab on and all that. And her friend that she came to have coffee with was wearing skimpy clothes, right? And I'm sure 100% she was from another religion. I'm not going to mention what it is. So for her, I believe that they were both in the wrong here by being out in public and being seen together. Obviously, they're going to get looks and glances because it's unusual to see someone fully covered up and someone half covered up together having coffee. You're going to get looks. Now, with my wife and daughter talking amongst themselves about her handbag, she turned around and said, "What are you looking at?" Like, get a hold of yourself. We're just they're just commenting about that they've got the same handbag. It's got nothing to do with you. You know what I mean? But just the reaction. Like, if I was that person and I turned around and someone said, looking at me or having a chat, I'd be saying, "Look, I couldn't help but notice that you were looking over my way." Not, "What are you looking at?" If you're going to get defensive,
But right,
you know inside yourself why you got defensive, because obviously you know people are staring at you for some reason, and you took it as because of your looks. No, it was about your handbag. You know,
that's kind of just a perception, and they assume they came to a conclusion. They jumped to a conclusion that was you were staring at them for the wrong reasons. Yeah, you were
correct.
just admiring something. But I do want to, thank you for sharing that because that happens a lot. People, you look at something, and you're really like looking at the dress code, or maybe looking at something that they have, and you admire it. You're like really like, oh, that's nice. But they don't know what your intent or your mind, or what you're actually having a discussion with your people on the table. And of course that's the first reaction, like, what the hell are you looking at? I mean, it happens all the time. I mean, you can be with your wife or, and then your husband, if or your significant other, and someone is looking at you like, you might think like these people are just, eyeballing you guys, whatever the case may be. But they might not just, it may be just cool. I mean, they might like, your watch, your hairdo, I don't care, your hat, whatever you have, or you just, sometimes you just can't help it. I mean, nobody is staring just at the wall. I mean, people turn their heads all the time and, you get to see something, nothing. And I love what you said about the idea, and actually, that should be a practice. When to your point, make eye contact. You smile. You'll be surprised. Someone can have a bad day. You give
Correct. I
them the
was just
nice.
going to point that out. Nice
Yeah,
of you to point that.
I'm serious. You give them a nice smile. They smile at you. They just shifts instantly. I mean, it's like almost like instant satisfaction. Boom, out. Like you're like walking. You got a front page. You just had a bad day, and you look at them like, hey. Now, someone can say like, "What the hell are you smiling at?" Of course. No, but if they did that, like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just, having, a positive, feed here. And then I'm sorry to hear that, it looks like you're not doing it good. You're not, having a bad day. Maybe you can start a conversation and somebody, and this is true fact, folks. I mean, any one of us watching this, I don't care what background, where do you live, if you're having a bad day, sometimes you just want someone to talk to you. Now, I know you want to punch the wall sometimes, but if someone comes to you at the right, frequency with the right, with no tension, you can just easily ease up. And that's what de-escalation is in the world of conflict, right? You can de-escalate by just positive words and stuff, as opposed to like, get all excited, fist up, and ready to roll. That's not the case. I mean, I'm a martial artist, and technically, if we're gonna be in our face to face and we're trying to get angry, I'm gonna try to de-escalate as much as I can because I don't want to get into a fight, and that's something that we train on. I mean, we train discipline. We don't train to be aggression and aggressive, right? So that's the concept. Same thing in real life. You see someone, sometimes help people, smile at people, give them a little bit of a positive. And by the way, in the Islamic tradition, it's a sunnah to smile at people. It's a nice little thing, It's a charity, and literally, it's your gift, And so there's all these things that can help, anyone. And by the way, I think it's also in the other religions, it's a positive thing. So it's a common shared value across the world. But I think we got all stressed out, and we're talking about dreams, success, and stuff today. And I think some people get so involved in the business structure of things, and they get so cutthroat level, and like they just want to make it, and they become very tense, and so in effect, and it gets stressed. Now remember, when it's, you talked about my dream. So in the whole career path, I've enjoyed what I've done. I actually enjoy what I do. I've always been in sales and marketing and operations and going. I mean, Hurricane H came from my corporate name, from my world of corporate, meaning that people saw me like I was coming like a hurricane, because I'm like boom, 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 boom. I'm always like energized. Like some people call me the Energizer Bunny. Some call me the Tasmanian Devil. I mean, literally, those were like my nicknames at work. So because I'm like okay, and animated, excited. But that's because I enjoyed what I did. I wake up in the morning, I'm not going to work, I'm going to have fun, right? So it never affected me. I'm doing media, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. These shows, I love them. I mean, I look forward to these moments. So stuff like that. But some people get so tense because I get it. Finances can get in the way. Listen, it's always, I mean, we talked about all the positive, but in the American dream or in my dream or any dream, as you're working, there will be a lot of setbacks. There will be a lot of, boulders. There will be like mountains that you have to sometimes destroy to get around. There's all kind of stuff. You slip back and fall. It's okay. I mean, those are just nuggets also for audiences that, don't think, when you see that iceberg thing that we see all the time on social media, the tip, which is to say, yeah, that's the Mount Everest. But actually, Mount Everest is small compared to what's underneath it. So that's the whole concept, right? It's all the stuff that we experience. So we all have bad days. It's how we deal with them. But when someone comes to you with a positive, they change your whole dynamics, and they can turn a bad day in a good day. Sometimes someone cracks you up, and you could be having a terrible moment, and all of a sudden they say something, you cheer up, beautiful. So to your point, eye contact, a little smile, it's free, it's cheap, it's nothing, there's nothing to it. And if they don't respond to you, it's cool, it's okay. You go to the next person. But you continue doing that, you'll just, by the way, it's an experiment that happened. I start laughing right now. I guarantee you, someone watching and listening right now, they're gonna start laughing. It's actually true. If we start, I start cracking up, you crack up. Anyone that's gonna be, they don't know what we're laughing at, they're just gonna laugh. It's contagious, and
It
vice
is, my
versa.
friend.
If yeah, I mean, how many
I
times you
was
had that?
I was once on flicking through YouTube channels, and I came across. I'll never forget this, and obviously the people can look at it up themselves. It's I'll never forget this cup of coffee. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, but I'll leave it to the imagination of people when they go and see this video clip. I can just give you an idea. It was a Sunday morning. The bloke was going interstate to his. I think his dad was um, in a bad way. He went and ordered a cup of coffee, and this lady that was serving him the cup of coffee, you got to see it to feel the emotion behind that scene. But she said she was um, look. She made him so happy and changed his um, day and made it positive because of the smile and the interaction that she had with him. She said she was serving, if I remember, happiness. She wasn't serving coffee, she was serving happiness because he came back to her after taking his coffee away, but because he wanted to understand why she was so bubbly in that. Have a look at it, you guys out there. I'll never forget that cup of coffee. You'll find it
You,
on
thank,
all
well,
platforms.
thank you. I'll look it up. But here's, you just made me. You reminded me of something. So when my original dream of coming to States and working in Disney, I mean, I really want. I love. I mean, the Walt Disney environment and the it's magical, right? So that's what there's like the magic of Disney or the Disney magic. And one of it was part of your training. So I did business, theme parks, business, education with them. And of course, they train you a lot in a customer service way that is extreme. And one of the things is that I learned then and I apply every day to until I go. I've taught that to my kids, is that, and I actually apply it in business, is I don't care how bad your day was. See, in Disney, you were on stage at all times. So you come in, you clock in the back, you open the door, it says backstage and the front is on stage. So you're actually on set. It's like acting in a movie set, right? So once you stand there, this is how we were trained. I don't care if you had a fight in the back. Once you walk in, have a smile. Hi, welcome. Have a smile. And you know what happens? It shifts you. Dude, I don't care how bad your day is. As soon as you walk and you start smiling, you kind of forget all that stuff for the time that you're there. It's like it takes you to a different world and you basically transport yourself into a whole new dimension in a little bit with a frame of mindset. You shift. And that's again, that's a part of the mindset. We talk about mindset all the time and how important it is. It's you can go from one end to the other just by looking at things differently, and that's all there is. In the world that we live in, that makes a big difference. You and I were talking about how all the stuff that's going on around us is not affecting us because we choose not to. Yeah, yes, there's factors that help us to do that, but we're choosing because we could just easily be like the guys. We have a better out than most people. We can just say, we out of here and we can get out. A lot of ways to go places, you know. But that was not what we decided, right? And it's not like we planned it, you and I, right? But that's how it is. But many people have that. It's just the mindset, how we shift things. And again, these are all elements of a success in life in a lot of ways. You know, again, we started with the dream. Yes, we can dream all you want. That's great. But the dream has to have, action attached to it for it to happen. I can
Correct.
dream like, and by the way, true story, one of the small dreams that I had back in the days when I was a kid, my cousins came from Europe and they had a beautiful Mercedes Benz. I couldn't afford it at the time. My parents couldn't really buy a car for me, at that age, or even, for themselves at that point. It was a beautiful S500, and this was like one of those old, bodies, but it was at the time, it was like state of the art. And I had that in my mind all that time. Like that was like something I wanted to achieve. And as soon as I was able to do it, I got me one of those. Okay. Now it sounds like stupid, dumb, whatever. Someone can say like, oh, okay, well, no big deal. Well, for me, it was a big deal. That was a dream that I had when I was a kid. And when I worked hard enough to be able to do it, I did it. And this happens in a lot of places. It could be something like You talked about a bag. Maybe some people see a bag, "God, I would love to have that." Now, some people say, "Well, that's vain." Of course, we're not talking. I mean, there's a level of charity. There's a lot of stuff. When you have money, you can do a lot of things that are good. And you have to balance life from this world and hereafter. And there's a lot of stuff that we can do. I mean, we talked about Ramadan, right? It's a beautiful month where we do charity and all stuff. And but the fact is, it doesn't matter what that is. That you achieve, you have a goal, and you work towards that goal. Small steps, larger steps, depends. Sometimes you get easy fixes, you can get easy leaps, and you can get there closer or faster. Sometimes it takes more.
You
That's
got
where
to understand
resilience.
also intent behind your dream also
Ooh,
plays a
yeah.
big part. You see, you can walk past us and conditioning as well, how you condition your mind. So you can walk past the house and say, I could never own something like that. And you will never own anything like that because you've already said that to yourself.
Formation.
And yes, you can go past the same house and say, one day I'll have I'll have that. And you will have it. It's how you condition yourself as well with the actioning behind it to achieve that thought or that dream. Manifestation is real. A lot of people don't even understand how that works, and it's you got to have intent and good, uh, obviously, good-minded morals, ethics behind it in your ways of getting it. You can go out and do um, wrong things to achieve that dream with the intent behind it as well. It'll get you there, but there is consequences at the end behind your manifestations, whether they're good or bad. So you can do it in a positive and honest, intentively, and you'll achieve your dream. Or if you've got a bad intent, although you will achieve that, but there is consequences behind it at the end of the day.
Thank you. So it's funny you say that, and again, I clicked something. They say a dollar and dream. We have that expression, a dollar and dream. Especially in the lottery world, they say it takes a dollar and dream. You have to be in it to win it, all kind of concept. Well, I don't believe in gambling and that kind of concept. I think in hard work and smart work even. I mean, see, that's the other thing. There's hard work and smart work. You can work hard a little bit, but you also have to find ways that are smart to get you whatever. But what you just said about walking by a house, and I love it. I mean, listen, I've seen mansions that are like unbelievable, like beautiful. Now, would I ever achieve them? I'm gonna go for them until I get something that I want, and I've done that actually. So it's funny because talking about the dream that I had as a kid. So one of them, obviously, the house. So I was 24. I bought my first house. Okay, and I
Nice.
was I was 23. At 23, I was already running a division. Now, mind you, this is a new kid, that came in with $500 in his pocket to New York City with a small bag. That's it. Not knowing anyone. Because once I finish my Disney, world, year, that's it. So it's funny because you come that the whole idea with coming to Disney, it's 1 year. It's an international college program. You have fun stuff. Then after that, your contract is over and bye. And so the rest of it is up to you. Whatever you do with it, it's on you. So it took, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to New York. That's where it's happening. If you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. That's exactly what I did. People laughed at me. They're like, "Huh, what's wrong with you? I mean, you can just move across the street and have an apartment, have a nice job, and that's it. I'm not gonna sell for minimum wage. I'm gonna go and hustle and make it happen where it happens. And that's exactly what I did. I literally took a bus from New York, from JFK into Manhattan. I said, "Let me take me to a youth hostel." They dropped me in a youth hostel. I paid $14 a night for a week. We looked. It was another guy with me. We looked for a small place. We paid out $200 each for an apartment at the time. This was like in Manhattan. This was cheap. Um, and was like a studio, right? And the rest was history from one job to the other. One thing, connections here. I'm at the gym. I met a guy at the gym. The guy said, "I'm working at this insurance company. They're looking for a rep that spoke multiple languages. I do speak multiple languages. They wanted Spanish, Arabic, and English." I'm like, okay, I can handle those easily. So boom, and the rest was history. Now you get into a job, right? That's the other thing. I got into a job. That's not. You're the newbie. Who the hell are you, right? But in less than a year later, I started, supervising the people that were there before me. Okay. And it's not that I cut throat or stuff. I don't work that way. I just highlighted myself. I did different from them. So they were working 9 to 5. I was working 7 to 7. You see, we had a target to do, I don't know, a couple of enrollments or insurance policies a day. I've done more than a couple. And so in no time, I was noticed. And also I showed that I have more potential. And I asked for the roles that came upon, and I proved myself into them rapidly. And every time I saw an opportunity, I'm like, I want that. As a matter of fact, even to be a manager, I went to my the team at the time. This is a true story, and they said, "You're not you don't have what it takes." I was told that. Like, okay. So I kind of absorbed that. Okay, I'm still the newbie. I got ambition, but so what is it? What do I have to do? It was like, well, you need to organize better. You need to do this and stuff. That's it. That's it. Give me a job that I can prove that. And I got a community relations representative job in special events, which basically you create events and you have to connect with, elected officials and so on and so forth. In less than a year, the manager that was there left. I called the director and said, dude, and by the way, we're best friends and he's my mentor. So, I would say shout out to him today, Dom. So I said, Dom, I need it. I want it. I need it. He said, come in. The next Monday, I started the role. And I literally go into my little cubicle at the time. I'm looking at it like, oh shit, I asked for it. Now I have it. What do I do? And that's exactly, I'm literally telling you what went through my mind. Then I said,
You will work it out.
exactly. So yeah, that was it.
A lot of people. I heard a story about this gentleman met in the lounges in the airport, right? So he met this fella and started a conversation while they were waiting. And the other fella said to him, "Do you know anyone that in the tire industry that would take? Who's got, I don't know, bulk tires that he needs to get rid of?" And he didn't say no, he didn't know anyone. He just said, "Yeah, let me think about that, and I'll get back to you." And he made a few phone calls, and I think it was about a month that was passed. He made a few phone calls, got in contact with someone in China. They invited him down to have this conversation, a conference about buying these tires. He was dead broke. He managed to buy a ticket for a flight to go to China. He ended up buying a first class ticket, thinking, I don't know what he was thinking, but he ended up realizing, should I have bought a first class ticket? Like, don't worry, just let's leave it. He went, done the deal, had the conversation, and about 2 months later, he ended up receiving a $15 million check from out of nowhere, just by saying to someone, "Yeah, just leave that with me." Although he didn't really know what to do with it, but he ended up making a deal, and that was good on him by not saying no to, like, "Sorry, mate, I can't help you." Anything can happen if you want something to happen.
Everything will happen if you want it bad enough. And I mean, by the way, I want to clarify when I say bad enough, I want to emphasize legal. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
because you
for
can.
sure.
There is a path that can get you quick fix everything, but that's usually a bad path, and you get destroyed, and the repercussions will actually just put you backwards versus ahead. But you're right. If you have anything in your mind that you want to achieve, you will achieve it. Talking about, as you said, you have to affirm things, and manifestation will exist, will happen. But you have, again, when I mentioned about the first house, that was a small house. That wasn't the house I wanted. It wasn't my dream, and I still haven't achieved the dream house. That, I mean, I've had a beautiful place, but I still have. I mean, and that's the other thing. Like, no matter what you have, you would want to have more in life. But also, I try to balance my life between the worldly stuff and the hereafter. I still try to do my spiritual piece of it, of things. So I try to balance things, but that's okay. We can do that. There's nothing wrong. Just don't step on people. Just don't hurt people. I say, like, my concept in business and doesn't matter. I'm not the type of person that will, want to step like as I progressed, I never hurt someone in the process. As a matter of fact, I supported people, and they support me further. Meaning, even my teams, as a leadership, style, I don't, I work for my team, not the other way around. They're the ones who actually do the hard work, and I'm there to support them and to lead them and to push them and guide them and work with them towards the next. And that's the other thing. I've never looked at my hierarchies as like, I want to take your spot. I want to get you out there somehow so I can get in. No, I want to make the company succeed. So you grew up and I grew up with you. So I get the next role and the next role until I got to the highest level I could possibly. Actually, I did achieve the highest level I could ever put into in terms of my I guess vertical. So I'm in sales and marketing. The highest you can be is a chief sales marketing officer, right? So you say, that's what I did, and then that's it. Now that wasn't enough. I started my own companies, and I'm the CEO of my own companies, and but that's how you do it, right? So what is the next move? And these are all gimmicks, if you want to call it. This is like business stuff, whatever. Yeah, it's a big deal, but it's no big deal.
Yeah,
I
touching
think
on
you've achieved.
support, like you said, like having that support, people helping you. We didn't get that in Australia. No one wants to help anyone out there. Everyone's for themselves. Here, I mean, we've only been here 5, 6 months, and the people that we've met have the just the genuine. You can see, you can really feel, you can see genuine and feel genuine when with the body could tell you if this person's saying the right things. The how people that we've met saying, if whatever you need, whenever you need it, I'm just a phone call away. And like the messages that I received even after the visit, it was a pleasure meeting you, Gary. Whatever you need, we're here. We all help each other. I feel that all being genuine. I didn't get that back in my country. I'm happy to be here, my friend. Let me tell you, and it's given
Listen,
me another boost, another bit of energy. It's like I can't say like born again, but it's made me want to be more active and especially to see my children succeed because I'm here for my kids at the moment. At the same time, I want to see what I can do as well, and other than what uh, I was doing back in Sydney. I know myself. I know I can achieve bigger and better. And it's not about the bling and all that. It's about making things happen to also help other people as you go along, especially what they've showed me as well. So if we can interact and work together to even make things happen to help others in the future, that's what I'm about, my friend.
well,
We're
it's
all
it's
human beings.
that's right, and it's
We're all God's creation. It doesn't matter what background you're from.
that's the beauty of things, and I think we have that in Dubai, where and the UAE is like there's a lot of diversity, and I don't mean diversity from ethnic background and religious background. So a little bit of everyone here, and everybody gets along really well. That's one thing. I mean, it's everybody's got their own identity, but everybody kind of comes together as one. I mean, look, during the month there were some events, and I want to give also a shout out to a guy that I I I learned to admire, in terms of work. I mean, Fatty, and I, I was invited to go to this event, and I really kind of loved that event. It's just like it felt genuine. They were giving to the laborers and helping them. And there's meal like a food drive, but it was every day consistent. Brought like hundreds of people together every day. I was another event. It's happy UAE. It's another beautiful event where people come in, they get food and stuff, and you see that the amount of folks that come in and the preparation and the love that's given. It's not like people are not doing it because they're obligated. They're doing it, they're enjoying it. I mean, literally, like I started and I was like, okay. Then all of a sudden, I wanted more of that. Like literally, we were supposed to have 29. Like there was a doubt about the day of Eid, and so the 29th they were there. I'm like, oh, do we have another day? Because when we had the 30, everybody that was there, like, oh, thank God we had another day. Because it was like so much fun to feel good about doing something. And that's something you don't get everywhere. I mean, like the idea that and by the way, it was everybody that was given was from different fabrics, different backgrounds, and everybody that was actually receiving was also a mixture of different cultures and stuff. It's not just for the Muslims or for this or the other. It was, and consider, because this is Dubai, so people think, well, those are just the Muslims. No, it was everybody, folks.
Everybody,
You know,
yes. I
everybody.
did participate in something like that as well. Yes, like the ones that give food
I
out
saw you, yeah,
to
yeah, with the
uh,
police.
yes, giving out food to people on the traffic lights. Mate, you can feel it in your heart, the warmth, the good feelings of doing good. Now, me teaching my kids earlier on in life about halal and haram, the forbidden and the prohibited, right? I said, you don't need a book to know what's halal and haram. Your body tells you. I mean, if you go out to steal something, your heart's going to race. If you go out and give something, your heart's going to feel,
Always.
soothing.
Always.
Yes, I like to give. I like to help.
Listen, well, this is help. What we do right now is a form of helping, and we're producing a discussion that has positive and people can take away from it. And yeah, that is another way of helping someone that may currently having difficulties of, oh my God, my life sucks. And they hear that you can still do it. Folks, if you're watching, listen, you can do it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Anyone. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Things can change for you. If you really want to make the change, you will. And people will come your way that will guide you and help you. God will put them in your way. And by the way, that's also true no matter what denomination you're in. You will get people. No, I didn't make it because I was the most skilled and stuff. Yes, I put the work. I had a little bit of smartness behind it, but it doesn't matter. You can be the smartest person, genius on planet. If everybody closes the door on you or you suck, nobody wants to deal with you. You're not going to go anywhere. In corporate, you can make it to the next level if you step on everybody's toes and everybody, is not happy with you. No one's going to want to work with you. In business, same thing. If you cut, throat and you're like, do bad things, people are not going to, want to deal with you and do business with you. So you need to know that you can make it and you will make it if you have the drive, if you actually have the belief. So that dream becomes reality, and you got to do a lot of bridge between those two. But in the meantime, like, you want to make sure you ally yourself with other people and do give back, help people. Like ours, even your customers. If you help, like in sales, we always say this: let me help others so I can help myself.
Yeah,
And
but
literally, I never.
you got to also be real about it. Real
Of
intent.
course, it's genuine. Yeah, it's
I emphasize that. It's got to be genuine, like you said. Yeah, real.
people can read through that shit. I'm sorry.
100%.
you you can't hide fake. Fake is not, most of people will read through fake very easily. If you're a true person, it projects in your energy, projects in how you talk to people. Your smile, if it's a fake smile versus a real smile, can be read. These are, I mean, psychology is a real thing and it works, and people, can perceive things very easily. Sometimes you don't vibe with someone easily because you can see their energy is really not 100%. There's something they're holding, there's something hiding behind whatever the mask, right? So, like the movie The Mask with Jim Carrey, and by the way, that was actually a funny movie. But if you think about the concept of the mask, when he was a good character, a good heart, the mask did funny things and cool things. When the guy took the mask and he was a bad guy, he only did bad things. So it really projects your true self and your true, spirit. And that's exactly what happens. And we all have that, folks. We can develop ourselves to positivity. We can succeed. And believe me, you lay the steps, you work, you align accordingly, you work with other people, and people will actually help you. If they like you, they will help you. And if you're really not good to anyone, that starts with you because you're not good to yourself because you're not doing a good thing with yourself. And so those things are real and they work. And maybe we're two older gentlemen that may be talking here on this show, and people can say, well, you guys have your own path and stuff. But we've had a few decades of life that we know a little things and a thing or two that can make us. And we've done some good life stuff. For the most part, things that people can dream of. We've done something. I can say I've done. I've seen a lot of places. I've done a lot of things, and I've enjoyed my life so far. And you can do too if you're watching and listening. This is not about us. This is about you. This whole message was between, it started with, we're just having about the quote, having breakfast actually on Ramadan, right? And the rest of it was like, hey, let's do this. And now Gary is going around and asking the question, what is your dream? And then, so Gary, what would you tell our audiences before we close our show today?
Um, Transparency, you even touched a bit about transparency. I believe that everyone really should be transparent. I don't think there should be nothing to hide. I mean, me growing up in life, maybe a lot of people say that that was my not downfall, but a mistake of mine by being transparent about who you are and what you're about. But I was just being real. It's truth about me. how I grew up and what I'm about is being real. Now, some people might say you should not be real. You should hide things that you can't say it how it is at times. But no, if someone asks me, "What do you do for work?" I'll tell them, "How much do you make?" I'll tell them exactly what I make. Can you help me uh, do what you're doing to achieve what you're doing? Yes, I will. I will help. But a lot of people are all for themselves. They just like, "How much do you earn, sir?" That's a bit private. Why should it be private? How much do you earn? Because I would I would like to be in your position as well. Would you help me get to where you're at? If
You
everyone
know,
was real, yeah, go on.
no, no, I'm sorry. It's amazing that you said that because some people are afraid, like you're a threat.
Of
You're not a threat.
disclosure.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're afraid of sharing. As a matter of fact, sharing, as we joke about, we say sharing, caring. Yeah, you can
Yes,
share information. It's okay. You know, we're doing this. We're not hiding. We're actually sharing value
there's no
of
reason
things.
to hide. I mean, to be open and transparent is the best thing, in my opinion. All right. Obviously, there's there's, there's
Bless.
bless you, bless everyone. There's a borderline, like how much you can be transparent. Family life is different, but we're talking about just general normal things, how you can help others to just be transparent. If you've got something to offer or show, just don't keep it to yourself. Offer it, you know, even if it's just words of wisdom of where you came from. Um, Share it with people. Don't keep things to yourself because a lot of people these days they don't want others to be more successful than them, and especially in the family environment and the closest nearest to you. I mean, sure they might not show it, but no one these days really want anyone to be in a better position than themselves. I'm not like that. If I can help someone become successful or be successful from what I've offered as words of advice or and that, I'd feel good. I love that.
You know, Gary, it's funny. Knowledge and skills are not supposed to die with you. If that was the case, we wouldn't be where we are today in terms of technology. Because the
Correct.
first people that had the knowledge, they would have kept it themselves, never shared it, and we would have ended, still in the I don't know, the Bronze Age. People shared value and intellect and intelligence and smartness and things and services, and the knowledge is supposed to be handed down and given to other people. So you give,
Not
and
just yourself and the knowledge passed down to your family, to
that's right.
anyone and everyone, because we're all God's creatures, my friend. No one's better than me, and I'm not better than them. Like some people might sit there and believe that they're more superior than others. These people, I feel for them. I don't say I feel sorry for them. I feel for them because they're uneducated and not knowledgeable about life. We're all one, brother, one,
You
and
know,
we've got
amazing.
to give each other what we need to gather our lives. Actually, Paul McCartney, Ebony and Ivory. Everyone listen to Ebony and Ivory. That should wake us up.
Right. Well, so here's the thing, right? We all die. And I don't care who you are, what you are, how much money, how much intellect, we all kind of we go by ourselves in a little box that puts you on the ground. That's the end of it, right? So at the end of it, we are super equal when it comes to that. But what we have in this life, we can certainly share value. We can share good stuff. We can share happiness. We can share ideas. We can help hold hands to people that need it, not necessarily financially if possible, spiritually if possible, and even just ideas, just support them. Like even when you're encouraging someone, you're actually giving them, if we're telling people now, just yes, you can do this, never give up, you will succeed. That in itself is a gift, folks. It's just take it, get pumped with it. I mean, sometimes you hear something that gets you like excited. And of course, excitement can die out, but now you take that, you build onto it, and the rest is history. Obviously you have to take action. I mean, action speak louder than words, but that's the thing. All we're doing is sharing our experiences in life. And frankly, again, you've succeeded through the years. You had your ups and downs, you had people that were in your way that helped you. And then no one can deny that. And if someone says, it's me, then they're full of whatever they're full of air. And I'm gonna leave it as clean as possible, because frankly, no one makes it on their own. There is no one that made it on their own. I don't care who you are out there, whatever it is. If you think you did it, it's never you. It's the
Correct.
circumstance. There were circumstances that aligned correctly. Yes, you took advantage of a few things, and there were people there. Even if you are the most successful entrepreneur, right? Guess what? You have people working behind you. Like, see, when I talked about this charity
Correct.
thing of the food, like, one of the messages that was very redundant in every day, like the speech that was given, is that we live here because of these people. Because without them, you wouldn't have these buildings, you wouldn't have these offices, you wouldn't have the structure and infrastructure for you to even be here and to live and thrive. So these are the people that made it happen for you. So you owe it to them versus the other way around. So something like this, sometimes you don't think about it because you think like it's all about you. No, it's not about us people. It's about everybody around us and how we also projected them and so on and so forth. And when you actually understand that, your life becomes a lot more, I guess, happier, and you enjoy it a different way. And that's all there is. So Gary, I mean, I know we can talk for a couple hours here, not a problem, because this is a
Mate,
very deep topic.
I appreciate you, your mindset, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on your platform for me to give you a little bit of my um, aspiring comments for others to learn. And I grew up with also knowing that winners never quit and quitters never win. So you got to believe, push, persevere. It's not going to happen for you in whatever um, business or opportunity that comes up in front of you. It's not going to happen with a click of the finger, but it will happen if your intent is right. And I thank you for the opportunity, Hurricane.
Gary, thank you for having me with you on this one because I really learned also, and that's
It's
the other
been a
thing.
pleasure, brother.
I'm always learning, and I love that. And thank you for the willingness and the ability to be with us and taking the time to share those. You've been modest. You say a little bit of my stuff. You got a lot to offer, my friend. And you know what? You're doing it, and that's really you're making a difference. And I enjoy that. And I this helps me and actually do more of this because I enjoy these discussions. And so with those words of wisdom you just said, I mean, we will let you guys be. And I know it's a long show for many, but I hope that you've enjoyed, some of the nuggets and the insights that we've shared today. And Gary specifically has given a lot. And that's about it. So I'm Hurricane H. Hope you had fun. We'll be talking soon. Bye for now.